What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Agent Carter, Season 2, Episode 2, A View in the Dark. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. If I yawn, it's because it's 4 o'clock in the morning. The only time I have now to watch TV is I do stuff. I'm a busy person. Okay, but that's just, if I start yawning, that's why. Kind of get my thoughts together. Okay, so a lot of interesting stuff happened though in this episode. I'm gonna start off with something that I remember clearly because it was at the end and I liked it. Um, so Wilkes, it looks like he might be gone. I feel like he probably isn't though. I feel like he's probably somewhere, um, or if something did happen with that the zero energy, whatever it is, if something did happen with that, I feel like he will come back, possibly by the end of the season. Um, just because I feel like they're kind of setting up for a love square of sorts, where Peggy Peggy liked Daniel, but Daniel was already with this woman, so she decided to move on to Wilkes. But then, whenever something bad might have happened to her, Daniel realized, oh crap, I do still have feelings for her, and is like freaking out because she might be gone. And then she's okay, and so I feel like they're gonna do that stupid thing where she liked him, but he didn't like her, so she moves on. Then he likes her, but she doesn't like him because she's already moved on. I feel like they're going that direction with it, and if they do, I'd be very disappointed because that's just too dumb. Um, I've seen it so many times. It's so cliche. But anyway, um, but I really liked what Jarvis's wife said, uh, because she was very upset about what happened to Wilkes. Peggy was, and so she's like sitting there in the Jarvis house, and she's like staring out the window. She's like, I don't understand why I'm so torn up about this. And she's like, well, of course you are. You just lost someone. Like, yeah, but I've only known him a few days. She's like, well, Edwin only knew me a few days, and he'd already stolen a plane, and she named off like a ton of stuff that he did for her. Like, I don't think it takes that long for you to know that you've met somebody special. I like that because it's kind of become almost something to make fun of now. The thought of like love at first sight type thing. Like, it happens in so many of those classic Disney movies that it's become such a made fun of cliche. Like in the Hobbit movies when the elven woman falls in love with the dwarf guy. In one of the How It Should Have Ended videos, they even make, she's like, not everything works out okay, and he's dead. He's like, oh please, it wasn't even love. You only knew him for like a few days. And she's like, but it was real. It's like that stuff is made fun of so much, and when it was happening here, I'm like, really? Like, they're doing this now? But whenever she said that, it's true. Like, love at first sight doesn't always happen, but sometimes you do meet somebody that just intrigues you from the moment you meet them. It's not always love. Sometimes it may turn into love, but there are some people that you just meet them and instantly you just form a connection of sorts. And even if it's not love, it still can become a great friendship. One of my best friends, the very first day I met her, we just instantly connected on a friend level, and we've been friends ever since. And it's funny because she was actually best friend with my best friend, so we had that connection too. So it's a very good line, and really worked in this episode. I think I can't really think of anything I didn't like in this episode. Um, I think there were a couple things that maybe could have been stronger, like what was going on with Souza and what's going on inside of him. And you they're kind of showing what he's feeling, but it could be shown better, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because to be honest, I'm kind of caught in between. Is he does he still have feelings for her? Is he just worried for her as a friend? I really don't know exactly how he feels about Peggy. Um, so they're not doing a very good job of making it clear there, which may indicate the fact that he's not entirely sure how he feels about her. So that's what they're doing. They're doing a good job of that. Um, let's see. Uh, some more interesting stuff with the Calvin guy or whatever. I think the meeting that he was in, and don't quote me on this, but the symbol that may be that one symbol that we've learned about in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that Fitzsimmons found out was kind of like the original Hydra before Red Skull and all that. Um, it looks like a similar design, like that little that symbol. If you can see how my finger is going right now, uh, it's like a little A without the middle line. I think so. I haven't seen the symbol. It's been a while since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I can't really remember what the symbol looks like. But I think that's it. So maybe we're about to see a bit more of the. I don't even know what to call it because it's not really Hydra, even though it is Hydra. It's not the Hydra we're used to. I'm gonna call it Neo Hydra. It's like the new version of Hydra coming out from the wreckage of you know Red Skull's Hydra. So you have him at that meeting. He's talking with a bunch of the people, and he wants to continue his research that he's doing, but they're saying no. They've already done a lot of stuff behind the scenes of the collapse in 20. So talking about like affecting the economy so that they can make money off of it. Um, and all of the research that he's doing is actually not benefiting them, it's hurting them. And so they are tearing it down. Everything involved with it. So most of the episode revolves around them going after Wilkes because one of the doctors in there sees that he's like snooping around, and so they put out a hit on him pretty much. But through this, you find out something very interesting that the wife is actually the one that has the bigger kahunas to kind of do stuff and get stuff done because the husband's just like, well, they told me I should focus on the run for senator, so maybe we should do that. That could still be good for us, right? And she's like, yeah, of course. And puts on her acting skills. And then, whenever she hugs him, you could just see it in her eyes like, no, I'm not happy with this. Which, of course, leads to the final scene where she has the gun on Wilkes when he's got the zero energy. Whenever that scene happened, though, I kind of got this feeling of what they did in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Fitzsimmons, in that Simmons was gone for half a year, and then this one guy helped her survive, so she kind of developed a relationship with him, kind of fell in love with him, and so the whole dilemma between Fitz and Simmons was they just never got the timing right, like he never really got to tell her how he felt, but when she disappeared, he had finally told her just before then, and then she can't get back, so then she falls in love with this guy, and by the time she comes back, that relationship has blossomed, and so it's just not working out. But then it kind of all gets solved because the guy dies on the other planet while she was back on Earth. So, yeah, it was kind of a cheap way to finish it, but at the same time, it's like, well, at least Fitzsimmons can get together now. One of those type things. That's kind of how I felt at the climax of this thing. In that, she shows up with the gun, and I'm like, they're about to kill Wilkes, aren't they? Like they were just Peggy and Wilkes' relationship blossoming, but then Sousa might still have feelings, so they're just going to kill Wilkes off and just solve the problem. And that's kind of what they did, but at the same time, I don't think Sousa's completely, ready to drop his relationship with the girl he has now for Peggy. So I don't, like I said, I don't know if he knows how he feels about her yet. But it was kind of like a mixed range of emotions how that final scene went down. It was like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see what they're doing here, but at the same time, it kind of feels forced and thrown in there for the sake of this love square going on. I don't know. But that does lead to probably the most intriguing part of this episode. The sleazeball Calvin something. I don't know why I'm so terrible with names at first. I'll get it eventually. But the guy that the wife who's doing the acting and stuff, she's like sitting in her dressing room and they're kind of doing that slow reveal where it's slowly panning around to where she is. I'm like, oh, what is it? What happened to her? And then she's sitting there and her forehead's a little bit veiny, and then she like pulls back her hair and there's like a crack in her head and there's like black ooze coming out of it. And I'm like, oh my god! That was just, it was really shocking, and I'm like, oh my god, what are they gonna do with this? Like, is she gonna become a superhuman type person? What's gonna happen? Very intriguing, a very, very clever move, and this is one of the things that I love about these Marvel shows, is that they can do stuff like this and work it out for it to make sense and make up kind of their own rules about it. And I can completely buy into that. Because if you think about some of the, best example I can think of, the Terminator movies, a lot of people kind of get turned off because of all the stupid time travel crap they throw in there. So it's like they're not very good at making up their own rules, whereas we've seen Marvel already have to make up some of their own rules. Like you think about Guardians of the Galaxy, or with the Infinity Stones, and Ant-Man with the shrinking down, and even like the main superhero movies that they've had, where just to build the devices or whatever, like Iron Man building his suit, I can buy into that stuff because it's a superhero universe, and they do very well at kind of accepting that fact, saying, yeah, we're a comic book universe, we're full of superheroes, and some of our stuff is going to be supernatural scientific mumbo jumbo, and I'm okay with that. I can accept that. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen to her because of what happened with the zero energy stuff. And just that one scene where they're watching the old clips of like the first, or the atom bomb that they dropped that like looked like it cracked a hole in some sort of like space-time continuum and then just sucked everything in like a black hole. That was so cool to see on like, what's that called, 8mm film, I think. I can't remember what it's called, but like the old film reels and stuff. That was pretty cool to see it look like that from back then. So just another one of the charms of having it set back in the 1940s. But yeah, I can't say enough how much I really do enjoy Marvel and how well they're tying everything together, and just how well they do with each individual thing. Whereas you think about, and I'm not saying that Marvel's better than DC and stuff like, but you think about the DC stuff, the stuff doesn't always connect, and honestly, some of their stuff is hit and miss. Like, Gotham first season wasn't that great. It was okay. Second season's gotten better. Supergirl so far has been Oh, it was good. Arrow and Flash I hear a lot of good things about. I'm about to finish the first season of Arrow and it's kind of for me. So I don't know. Just whenever I watch a Marvel show, I can always enjoy it. Whether it's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter. It's always enjoyable. They always have a bit of fun to it. They always do well in their own thing, but when you tie it all together, it just makes it that much better. Um, so yeah, really enjoying this. Really excited to see where they're taking this season. Still, you know, one one of the biggest problems I think that Agent Carter suffered from in the first season and is suffering from now, though, is that the first couple episodes are like building up the story, so kind of introducing characters and ideas and objects. And so we're still kind of in the introducing phase. And so there's not a lot of, oh, I can kind of see where they're going with. I have no idea where they're going with any of this because I'm still learning names and learning people, learning places. So anyway, the only other thing worth mentioning is that didn't see any of New York in this episode. Everything that happened with Dottie in the last one, I suspected that they were going to bring New York back, but they didn't this time. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully they do have a plan of bringing it back every now and then, because if not, well, that would suck. But yeah, good episode, good second episode, good first and second episode to set up the rest of the season. And yeah, ready to go to sleep now. So let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this episode, whether or not you agree or disagree with my sleepless opinions. I don't remember half of what I just said, so I probably said something stupid. Tell me how stupid it was. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Agent Carter stuff, and check out my other videos. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace out.